lasagna test. So I don't know what the correct pronunciation is, but lasagna, I remember, is an Italian dish which is full of cheese and very heavy. But this lasagna is a lasagna spelled like this. It looks like this, very heavy. And lasagna here is a French chemist, Jean Louis Lasagna. Seems like maybe this is the correct pronunciation. But yeah, lasagna's test. For some time, I felt like this has something to do with lasagna because in the test which we will do here, we will use something very interesting, and we will react organic compound with sodium, and it feels like a forced kind of a reaction, and sodium can react with any part of the compound and produce a lot of ions. So I felt like maybe by the look of the reaction, how it looks like, it has been given the name lasagna, but later on I realized that this is the name of a scientist. So this is also called sodium fusion test because you use sodium and you fuse the organic compound with sodium, and then you carry out different tests. So let's begin. So this is used for detecting heteroatoms like nitrogen, sulfur, halogens and phosphorus in organic compound. So these are non-metallic atoms, as you can see, and sodium is a very good metal. So first of all, you can understand that in organic compound these atoms will be covalently bonded, and so we need to take them out, right? We need to run tests, we need to convert them into ionic form, because then we have in inorganic chemistry we have many tests for different kind of ions, so we can use the test for those ions. So we need to convert them into ionic form, and for that we will be using, of course, sodium, because sodium is a highly reactive metal. And when you do that, when you fuse the sample with sodium metal, you get these ions. C is also there in organic compound. If there is N, then you will get cyanide ion. It's difficult to form nitride ion, N3 minus. So you will get cyanide ion. And with sulfur, you will get sulfide ion. You can also get with sulfur and carbon and nitrogen thiocyanide ion, SCN minus ion. And with chlorine, bromine, iodine, you will get these ions as chloride, bromide and iodide ions. So then you see these ions, we have tests for these ions in inorganic tests. So we can use those tests. So run inorganic tests for suspected ions. If you suspect that there is sulfur inside your organic sample, then you will have to run the test for S2 minus and SCN minus. What are those tests? So let's do a quick recap. Test for nitrogen will be associated with test for cyanide ion, of course. And then you take this cyanide ion and iron 2 sulfate and sulfuric acid. So in acidic medium, you take iron 2 plus iron. Sulfate is a soluble salt of iron. So you take that. And what you will get is this Prussian blue colored complex after reaction. How you would get that? So from the sodium fusion extract, if there is nitrogen, you will have Cn minus ion. And with Fe2 plus ion from the iron sulfate, there will be formation of this complex, iron Cn6 and 4 minus. And because 6 ligands have been attached, so overall charge will be 4 minus, right? Iron is 2 plus and Cn minus, the 6 Cn minuses are negatively charged, so you get a total of 4 minus charge. And this is not the end, because sulfuric acid is an oxidizing acid, so it can convert some of the Fe2 plus to Fe3 plus, and SO2 gas can be released, right? So sulfuric acid, if you remember, is H2SO4, and sulfur here is in plus 6. It can go down to plus 4 here and oxidize the iron to plus 3. You can write the balanced equations if you want and check for these things, but simply there will be a redox reaction, and Fe2 plus will get converted to Fe3 plus, and these two ions, they can form this Prussian blue complex. And you can of course understand that this 4 here should be written here, because they will get balanced for 12 negative charge. So if you take these 4 ions and these 3 ions and then mix them and then combine them, you can get this neutral bunch of atoms. And this is your this is the Prussian blue precipitate. What can you call this? So this is ferrocyanide, right? Ferrocyanide, ferrocyanide, and this is ferric. So you can call this ferric ferrocyanide, or better name will be, I think, cyanoferrate. You can name this ion as cyanoferrate or whatever. So you have Fe3 plus and Fe2 plus both here in the final compound, and the color is Prussian blue. Let's come to the test for sulfur. Sulfur will be present as a sulfide ion. If sulfur is present as sulfide ion, it can also be present as a thiocyanide ion. So sodium fusion extract with S2 minus, you add some acid and lead acetate. So lead acetate is soluble salt of lead. This is something you need to, you would be aware of this if you go to laboratories and do these tests. So lead, soluble salt of lead is lead acetate, so it will provide Pb2 plus ion, right? And from here we will have S2 minus, and Pb and S2 minus, they will precipitate very fast to PbS, which is black. Okay, this is how the sample looks like. Okay, now let's for sulfur there is another test in which sodium nitroprusside will be used. And what is sodium nitroprusside? This is a very important chemical. This is used as a medicine to lower the blood pressure. So, this is one of the safest medicines, but it could lower the blood pressure too very easily, and could be dangerous if taken in improper amounts. So this is used to lower the blood pressure. Safe to use. It's one of the safest medicines. I think UNICEF or something, like some organization, WHO recommends. In the list of the safest medicines, there is this sodium nitroprusside. Okay, and then this looks like this. So you can see this is very much like, there is iron and then cyanide ions 5 and 1 nitrosyl group is also there, and sodium. So tetrahedral iron core, and instead of 1 CN there is an NO group. Okay, so if you have this solution in your laboratory, you can use this. You can take the S2 minus and sodium nitroprusside. So S2 minus will be present in the sodium fusion extract, and you treat it with this. You will get this ion, and they will react to form a complex, and you will see that S will get inserted here. So you will have NOS kind of a situation, and 2 minus here will add up to 4 minus, right? So this will be violet in color. So this is another test for sulfur using sodium nitroprusside. The other one was with lead acetate. Okay, now test for sulfur and nitrogen both. If you have both sulfur and nitrogen, you will get SCN minus ion also. So if you have that, then you can take any ferric salt solution, and Fe3 plus and SCN minus will react together to form this complex FeSCN2 plus, which is blood red, like red color precipitate, blood red. It's written in many textbooks. So like blood, it's red. But beware that thiocyanide ions have a tendency to break down into cyanide and sulfate. So separate, like they will get separated into Cn minus and S2 minus, but with excess of sodium, because more negative charge has to be created in this reaction. So NaSCN plus 2 more Na, and they will break down into this. So if you have a ample amount of sodium, then you might not encounter a Cn minus in your final sodium fusion extract. Okay, then there is test for halogens. Test for halogens is used using Ag plus. So Ag plus can be obtained from AgNO3, the soluble salt of silver, and Cl minus and Br minus and I minus can form very easily precipitates. So let's see what's written here. Same thing. Okay. So add AgNO3 to the solution. AgNO3 is a soluble and provides Ag plus ion, is soluble. The silver halides AgCl, AgBr and Agi are all insoluble in water. but AgF is soluble, is highly soluble. So here I haven't written F. This is not for this test is not valid for fluorine. So you can use AgNO3 and you can precipitate the Cl or Br or I. But what if you have to identify which what has precipitated, AgCl or AgBr or AgI? Then you take a look at these. Uh, so this is white in color. These precipitates, AgCl is white in color. AgBr and AgI both are yellowish in color. So if you get a white precipitate, then you can understand that it was chlorine in your organic compound. But if you get a yellow precipitate, then another solubility test is used. So AgCl is highly soluble is soluble in ammonium hydroxide, so that way can be differentiated. AgBr is sparingly soluble and AgI is insoluble in ammonium hydroxide. So if you get a yellow precipitate which is insoluble in ammonium hydroxide, you will understand that this is iodine. And if the yellow precipitate is sparingly soluble in ammonium hydroxide, you will understand that this is AgBr. These solubilities are a little bit difficult to explain because the thermodynamics involving them has lattice energy and also hydration energy is involved with them, and complex formation can also take place. So this is something which you might have to memorize. Then the test for phosphate. So if you have phosphorus in your organic compound, it's better to convert, you wouldn't be able to convert it to P3 minus phosphide ion. That would be tough. Even with sodium, that would be tough. So you can use sodium Na2O2 and make a phosphate ion rather than phosphide ion. Okay, so instead of Na, you use Na2O2, which is an oxidizing agent, and from P3 minus to PO4 minus, this kind of oxidation can be carried out. Phosphorus is in +5 in PO4 3 minus, right? So, and then you use the molybdate test. So if you once you have this phosphate ion, then you use ammonium molybdate, okay, and some acid, and what you get is this precipitate which is yellow in color. Another very interesting precipitate. If you like in certain textbooks it's written as a double salt, but if you look for its structure, it looks like something like this. So think this is the phosphate ion and molybdate ion, many molybdate ions, I think 12 molybdate ions surrounding this phosphate ion. And phosphomolybdate ion, this is called phosphomolybdate ion. So you can maybe write this whole compound as NH43 and phosphomolybdate, MO12O4, like this, because it has a 3 minus here. Now where are 3 minus in this complex? That is very interesting to explore. So this is a question for the viewers. Where are the 3 minus charge? Is it on particular atoms, or it has been distributed all over the lattice? That's for you to think. So this complex is basically yellow. This is a yellow precipitate, and that's how you can understand whether your organic compound had phosphorus or not. Remember, Na2O2 is used here instead of Na. I think so. That's it. Thank you very much for watching.